What's up, boys? Welcome back to Big Bike BMX. This is the Big BMX news for September 13th. So it's been a pretty cool couple weeks. There's been some pretty cool drops. I've put some new stuff on my bike. Let's just talk about everything that I've seen going on around and the new parts that are available for you, your bikes, to make your big BMX journey a little bit more fun this week. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. First up, I did hear from 15 Distribution, and they have some new Zero tubes. These are the lightweight tubes. They have a 20-inch size, and then they have a 29-inch size. So if you are trying to build the ultimate lightweight 29, you're definitely going to want to look at these Rixson tubes. And then they do have some patch kits that are made specifically for these that are like some stickers you can just drop on. You clean off the area, has a little wipe, clean it off, stick the patch on, and you're ready to go. Pretty cool if you're trying to drop weight on your 29, or if you're a 20-inch person as well. Take a look at these from 15 Distribution. Sticking with Merit and 15 Distribution, I did see these as well. These are the Corner Pocket XL frame bags. If you look at the reflective option, it's like a gray material, and then it's going to reflect at night. Very cool for those of us that do ride at night. I live in Phoenix, so all of our bike rides are typically after 8 p.m. at night. And this makes it so it's a little bit easier to see you. I have this on a backpack. It's a great material that does reflect real shiny. So, be safe out there. This is a great way to do it. I'm able to fit an iPhone. I think I have like a 14 Pro or something, Pro Max. I can fit basically a wrench, like a little fold up Allen key set on my phone, and like my wallet and keys in there, and it makes it real easy. This connects to the top tube. This connects to the seat tube, and it sits real nice and comfy. Very, very cool. So if you want to be safe at night, take a look at these bags. All right, next we're going to head over to my friends at Torker Racing, and I do know that they have some 24s in stock, and they were stickering up some 24 restocks that they got. So very, very cool to see these. Now, I will tell you, when it comes to the Torker 24s, I can only speak for Torker when it comes to a 24. I've ridden my buddy Curb Jumper Dave's, and it feels pretty comfortable. For disclosure, though, I ride a 26, so the 2-inch dropping down is really just kind of an inch on the top and bottom, right? So it's not too big of a size difference when you're riding that. So if you're looking for a 24 and you kind of want to know what it feels like, it's a big 24. I don't feel very compact on it. I was able to do like a quick 5-mile loop on my buddies, and the whole time I was like, this kind of feels like my 26, dude. So very, very comfortable bikes. Take a look at torkerracing.com for those, as well as the upcoming seats and the upcoming like rugs that you can put underneath your bikes for shows. Take a look at those. All right, so this one's pretty fun. I just want to give a shout out to my friends over at Powers BMX. I recently got these right here. Let me move this screen. I recently purchased these. There we go. The Galaxy Rust Profile Elite AL crankset. I love these. The way that Powers works is you can click on, just search Galaxy Rust at the top, click this, and then you'll see the price, and you'll see A, B, and C. Galaxy Rust, you guys, each one is different. So you can kind of see these ones are real blue, a little bit of blue, a little bit of gold down here. Let's see what these look like. These ones are great. These have a lot of pink, a lot of, displacement of the color in the middle there. I like that a lot. These ones, a little bit more red. So pretty cool that you can kind of see them before you buy them. That's very unique with Galaxy Rust, but these are very cool. He does have, let me just show you how it works. Click here and then just type Galaxy Rust, and you'll be able to find all the different things that he has. Like if we look at I think these are the elites. Yes. All right. So here you can just kind of run through A, B, C. He's got D. You can see these ones. Let's see. These are very pink, but like some good blues and golds. You kind of get the idea, right? You go through very pink, very blue. You can go through here and just pick out the ones that you want and order right away. So the Galaxy Rust stuff is great. Let me also show you the most limited thing that I think this is probably these Gator hubs. I can't believe he's got these at all, to be honest with you. I thought these were only for the team, but here they are, the double Gator Profile Elites. These are over at Powers. Very, very cool. You can find these as well. So take a look at them. I love giving shout outs to local bike shops that are supporting BMX, so I will always do that. Powers BMX is a great one. The other bike shop that I love is Keggles over in Rockville. Illinois, I think it is. My buddy Aaron over there will call me and tell me, hey, dude, I'm getting these Galaxy Rust, or I'm getting this. And, hey, do you want a set or something like that? And I love that. Local bike shops are awesome for that. Makes it easier to get the parts that you want. Just develop good relationships with your local bike shop, and it'll make it easier to find parts. I guess that's my pro tip to you. But take a look at Powers, take a look at Keggles. They're both great shops. Next up in the fun stuff for your bikes, Amy has some really cool Pro Tri lock-ons. I love these. They come in 3 sizes. They have a 1.2, a 1.3, and a 1.1. And if you look, it's the diameter of the grips. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It just gets bigger. I have found personally, y'all, that the 1.3s are my favorite size because it makes less lactic acid in my forearm when I'm feathering a wheelie or something like that. The bigger grip makes it easier to hold on longer. I love them. They come in a bazillion colors. I will just say, hey, 1.3 for the size. And then look at all these colors, y'all. It's fun. You can go through here if you're looking for a pink. This is more of the Mike Miranda Hutch pink, but then you can also go with a fluorescent pink. So they have all the different colors you had as when we were kids. But the one thing I will show you is if you head up in the shop, if you head over to accessories, you can find some pretty cool, the colors to match here. So you can also buy these separately. They do come in black, blue, red, green currently. Take a look at those if you want to make some colorway matchy with the lock-on part of the grip. It's really cool. So just wanted to show that to you in case you didn't know that was available. All right, next up, news from Gary Turner, 1972. This is actually Craig Turner's weld job, and he is a standalone welder. Without the last name of Turner, that just adds pressure to him. Dude can weld, but it's a dynasty because of the last name. And man, I thank you for taking on that pressure, Craig, and carrying on the dynasty of the Turner last name, making these cool frames for us. Why am I so obsessed with this? I think this is one of the cooler things. This is the 29-inch coin roll. This one has the integrated headset. I'm trying to zoom in here. It has the integrated headset, but you can actually select the pressing cups are integrated. This is the S down tube, which I love a whole lot. I think that's great. It does have the cable guides here, and it goes down to some 990s, or you can select V-brakes. It's got an American bottom bracket. The forks have 990 tabs on the forks, which I love. The forks look really great. I love the dropout design, how it comes down there. Very cool. There is the coin roll right there. I'm going to try and circle it, but very cool. He's got these coming out. They do have a 26 and a 29. You can get them powder coated right from Craig, but these are great. Made here they're made in the United States here in Arizona. So shout out to Craig Turner for living in Arizona, I guess. But I'm just proud of that because I live in Arizona, y'all. So shout out to Craig Turner. All right, you guys. So if you're looking for a cool modern GT that is actually made by the dynasty of GT, look at GT 1972. Craig Turner is very active on all of our groups that we spend time in, and you'll see him out there. So, all right, y'all, that's it for the news that went down that I saw. So we've got the Rixson Zero tubes. If you're looking for a way to lighten up your 29, take a look at them. And then they do have the matching patch kits for those, so it makes it really easy. And it's the zero patch kit, so you'll be able to find those easily. Torker is going to have a restock on some 24s and some other bikes, so keep an eye on torkerracing.com. There's BMX. They have all of the Galaxy Rust, and they have all of, well, a very limited number of, don't even know how they got it, but they have the double gator stuff in there as well. You can head over to Powers BMX, just search them. They'll take care of you. And then just shop local, y'all. That's my biggest thing, shop local. The Amy Tri grips, the 1.3s are my favorites. But take a look at them, try the different sizes for yourself. Maybe head over to your local bike shop and ask if you can kind of feel them and see if it feels the same for you. My hands, as I got older and my hands got bigger from when I was a little kid, I feel like the thicker grips feel more comfortable and give my fingers a little bit more relaxation on long rides, a little bit more relief than the skinnier grips. So that's just my opinion. Find the grips that's going to work for you, but take a look at those collars as well if you need to match them up. And lastly, we have the Craig Turner GT 1972 coin roll frames. They just got dropped. He always has just limited ones. So if you're thinking about it or you are a GT fan, I would absolutely hop on as quick as possible to score one of those frames. I assure you they will not last, because that's like the coin roll frame, man, is kind of the flagship one that I think a lot of us grew up coveting. The Eddie feel. I mean, for me, it was Martin, man. I've seen Martin ride that bike. I've studied that bike, learning tricks when I was a kid for so many hours, just watching him do tricks. So that is a very recognizable frame. Shout out to him for provide them to the community so that we can have modern versions of those bikes that we grew up with, especially coming from a Turner like Craig. Like that level of welding, to be able to carry that on is incredible. So hats off to Craig Turner and his wife for keeping that legacy going and providing bikes to us. And honestly, shout out to every single bike company that is out here, because this is not a money generating business. You could easily go and just transfer over to e-bikes and make a ton of money. I've seen a couple brands doing that, leaning in a little bit more because that's where the money's at. But man, props to the diehards, the Turners, the Torquers, people that are out there, the Bassetts, the Elfs, the TNTs that are just continuously putting out frames for us with very little markup. So shout out to you guys for doing that for us. You could make a ton of money somewhere else, but I appreciate you doing it for us. All right, y'all, that's it for the news. Have some fun. All right, so let's talk about last week, the last upload I had with the 32 and the 36-inch bikes. You guys had lots of opinions, and I loved every one of them. Reading them was so much fun. I get the feeling that 36s may be a little bit too big and just extreme. I had a lot of people were just like, hey, that's too big. There's two bikes that we talked about. The 36-inch coming out of, I think it's the TR36 coming out of San Diego. Those fellows know exactly who they are marketing that bike to. They wanted to make a custom bike that was complete, that you could just jump right on in a big size, and they pulled it off. They're not trying to make a new genre. They're not trying to make this bike into something it's not. They know exactly what they're selling. It's a big 36-inch BMX bike that they can roll around and just be proud that they made this for them and their friends. So I think the like, hey, this isn't for me. It's not. If you don't think it's for you, it's probably not for you. That size 36. It's definitely not for me. I don't think I could control a 36. I actually stepped down from a 29 to 27.5, and my daily is a 26. So for me, a 32 or a 36 would be just way too big. I wouldn't enjoy that. Some people will, and I'm not going to poo-poo their idea because it's not for me. That's just my personal opinion. I would be stoked to ride around with a whole crew of people on 36s with me on my 26. I just want to ride bikes with bros that are fun. So that's my take on it, man. The 36 will absolutely fit people that want that bike and that appreciate that bike and enjoy it. Now, moving on to the SE size, the SE is doing a 32, which is just a slight step up from a 29. And that's the only one I can comment on because I've ridden the 32. I rode the prototype Colossal Ripper at Dirty Fest, and it feels comfortable. It feels fine. I feel like I could have lifted it up. I was riding it in dirt, and it was a field, right? So I didn't lift it up or anything like that. But man, I rode it around, just took it in a couple laps around in some dirt. Very easy to control, very easy to ride. I think 32 is, I mean, I would ride that on a ride out. I don't think wheelies would be super easy on it just because I'm coming from a 26. Understand that my baseline is a 26. So going to a 32 is big. I've seen Todd riding huge blocks on that bike. So it's very capable of it at a 32-inch size. People like Matt Rickard and taller guys like Damon Dayton, I think you will see them shredding that bike like a 29. They look like they ride a 29 the way that I look like on a 26 because they are tall. Matt Rickard, I think, is 6'5". He's a tall dude. So having a 32-inch bike for him makes a lot of sense. But I think the 32 will take off absolutely fine. I think it'll be a really popular bike. But for a lot of people, I don't think it's too big. But that's just my opinion. After riding it, without riding it, I would tell you it is too big. After riding it, I will tell you it's not too big. My opinion. Is it the bike for me in the way I want to ride bikes? No. I don't think I'll ever own a 32, but I don't think it's a clowny bike. I don't think it doesn't look BMXy. It just looks big. The 36 starts to, I mean, I think the 36 is a huge bike. But you know what you're getting into once you move up to that and you see it, you're like, I know exactly what I'm buying, and that's what I want. Totally cool. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised at the size of a 36. The 32, I think you'll be surprised that it doesn't feel as big as you think it does. But hey, man, my philosophy has always been the same. Since the day one, first video I ever uploaded, all I want to do is help people like you and I that rode bikes in the 80s, ride bikes today. I want to make sure that you, as a rider, know that there is everything from 20, 22, 24, 26, 27.5, 29, 32, and 36. If one of those sizes gets you stoked enough to go ride and find other dudes that used to ride, and you can ride around after work and talk about the old BMX days, the new BMX days, talk about work. If you can de-stress yourself riding a BMX bike, that's all I care about. I don't care what size it is. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care anything. I just want to see people, because I didn't know they had these big bikes and I could have been enjoying them for a decade before I got into it. So I'm just trying to make sure people know these bikes exist, and that if that's what you want to ride, that's what you want to ride. If you get so hardcore into the community that you want to start building show bikes and engraving them and dipping them in rose gold, I support you and I will enable you as much as possible. If you want to ride wheelies and do flatland tricks, I support you and I will enable you there as well. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. I just want you to enjoy bikes the way you did when you were 13, the way that I did when I was 13. And I want you to have the same experience that I'm having out here. That's it. So I'm sponsored by Supercross. I get bikes from Supercross. I love the Supercross geometry. I love the 6-bar frame. That is my home, but I will absolutely tell you about every bike that's out there, because that's more important than all of this. And Supercross will tell you the same thing. Bill, the guy that owns Supercross, will tell you he just wants to see you riding a BMX bike. He wants you to ride his because he thinks it's good. But if you show up on a Craig Turner frame, he's going to be stoked for you. And if you show up on an SE 32-inch quad angle, he's going to be stoked for you. We all will. So just ride the bikes that you like. Have fun out there. Get back into the sport. Enjoy it. De-stress. And I will be back here to show you the new parts you can customize your bike with in a couple weeks. So have fun, y'all. Ride your bikes. Do something rad. Share stories about the old days and talk about what's going on in your life with your friends. Have some fun. De-stress. A lot going on in the world, and it's scary and freaky out there, man. It's crazy. Enjoy your bikes. De-stress yourselves. Reality is outside, not on your phones or on YouTube. Have fun. See you later.